Hello, my name's Nicky and I'm from the Green Spaces team at Warwick District Council, and I'm going to show you how to create a sound map. Now this is a really nice simple activity that you can do at home that needs very minimal resources, and it's a great way to help you tune into nature that surrounds the place that you live. All you're going to need to make a sound map is some paper or card, something to draw or write on, and then some pens or pencils, something to draw or write with, and a timer. So that could be a timer on a phone, an egg timer, or somebody that you live with a clock or a watch, and that's all you need to create a sound map. So once you've got all of those things gathered, you're going to need to find a spot that's nice and comfy for you to sit or stand in and where you can hear outdoors. So that could be in your garden, could be on the doorstep, or it could be by an open window. And then once you're there and you're nice and comfy, you're going to need to get your piece of paper or card and mark yourself on that piece of paper. You can do this however you like, but just make sure that you leave some space around it to be able to mark sounds that you're hearing. So I drew a really simple stick person, but you can do that however. And then when you've done that and you feel ready and comfy, you're going to start your timer or get whoever you're with to time. And I recommend 2 minutes, but you can choose however long you like. I managed to hear lots and lots of things in 2 minutes, so that felt like plenty of time for me. And as you're listening and you're tuning into things, you're going to be writing those things down on your piece of paper. And you're going to write them down relative to where you are and how near or far those sounds are, or how quiet or loud they are. And you can have a real play around with how you want to do that. For example, if a sound is really quiet, you might want to write it smaller, or if it's a really loud sound, you might want to write it big with maybe a big bubble around it or something. That's entirely up to you to play around with. You could also have a go at timing the 2 minutes and listening with your eyes closed, and then after the 2 minutes, writing down as many different sounds as you can remember that you heard, and see if you can really pinpoint whereabouts those sounds were relative to where you were sat. That's something you can try as well. Okay, so as an example, here is one I prepared earlier. This was the sound map that I tried creating in 2 minutes in my garden. And as you can see, there's actually quite a lot of sounds on here, and I don't think I captured everything. And you can see how I've put certain sounds close to me or kind of around the paper. The sound of the wind around my ears, that was nice and close to me. Whereas just in the distance, I listened really carefully, I could hear some running water from a house down the road, and that was in that direction. And be honest as well about sounds that you can hear. Hopefully you'll tune into some lovely nature, but also it's probably guaranteed you're going to hear some cars or some lawnmowers or other things that are happening, and that's all part of the soundscape, so try and capture everything. And then as an extension of this activity, if you're enjoying doing it, you can get creative with it. So another one I prepared earlier, that same map, I had a go at drawing the sounds that I heard, and I really enjoyed doing this. So find a way of drawing the wind, had a go at drawing a pigeon, and also thinking about if a sound is really loud, like this particular bird, which I think was a great tit, was really noisy. So I've done an exclamation mark coming out of its mouth to remember, yeah, that was a noisy bird. So you can get really creative with it, do it however you want, but also you can just write things. And there are other ways you can extend this activity as well. You could choose a time of the day and do it at that time every day and compare different soundscapes on different days. And it might be that you always hear that same bird at that same time, and you get to know those things in nature around you. So you could give that a go. You could also research bird sounds. So if you don't know what some of the birds are, you could try and remember how they sounded and then go away and have a little bit of a research. There's some great resources out there on apps and websites, and see if you can find out what type of bird it was that you heard. You could even get other people to join in, so you could get a friend or family member to also do a sound map from their house, and then you could send your written maps to each other and have a go at drawing each other's maps. That might be a really nice thing to try. So there are different ways of extending this activity, and I'm sure you'll think of your own as well. So as I've said, sound maps are a really great way to tune into nature that's right on your doorstep. But also by focusing on just one of your senses, it can be really relaxing and really calming as well. and a great way to get creative. So I've just shown you one example of drawing your maps and colouring them in, but I'm sure you'll think of way more examples of how you could get creative with your sound map, and we'd really like to see them. So in a minute you're going to see all of our social media handles. Please do share your sound maps with us and we'll look forward to seeing them. Take care.